Hey, welcome to the Bald Truth Leadership Podcast, a place where you get the straightforward, no nonsense, no holds barred ideas on leadership growth, personally and professionally. The Bald Truth Leadership Podcast is brought to you by the Peak Performance Group. I'm your host, Coach Rick Holster, certified executive business coach and chief coaching officer of the Peak Performance Group here in Dallas, Texas, where we help people and organizations align and maximize their potential. Today, we have an amazing, fun guest, very special guest. I know it'll be a fun-filled show for both of us. Our guest today is Anthony Ogogo of the O Army. He has a varied and colorful history for someone that's still relatively early in his career. He's a model, good-looking guy, as you can see. Right? He's competed in the Olympics, won a medal, been on a couple of reality shows, including Strictly Come Dancing, which is, I believe, Dancing with the Stars in the UK, correct?
That's right, Coach.
And is currently training as a professional wrestler with the All Elite Wrestling, the AEW. New wrestling alliance has just come about. Anthony, welcome to the Bald Truth. How are we doing today?
Thanks for having me, Coach Rick. Thanks for having me. I'm doing good. The sun is shining in London, which isn't a very common thing in February. So I'm enjoying the sun. It's cold, but the sun is shining, so I can't grumble.
Well, it's kind of, I guess it's cold here in Texas too. We're about at the same, I guess, longitude, latitude. And because it gets down to 0 for you, 30 for us. We had a little sleet and hail and crap yesterday. Today it's sunshiny, it's nice. It'll probably be in the mid-50s. It'll be a nice day.
Nice.
So,
nice.
Hey, so let's talk about our friendship. Let's start. How did our friendship and how it began? So from your perspective, let's see.
So for me, so you mentioned earlier in the intro, I mean, I spoke about adversity. I mean, life, like my life, like anybody's life, has been full of adversities. And there's this quote. I do a bit of motivational speaking, and every talk I do, I always say, beginning with a Nelson Mandela quote. Nelson Mandela once said, "Don't judge me on my successes. Judge me on all the times I fell down and got back up." So he's basically saying, like, he became the first black president of South Africa. He abolished apartheid, did some amazing things, but he doesn't want to be judged on that. He wants to be judged on how low he fell and he got back up. And that's what life's all about. My life from here in the next half an hour, I've had lots of setbacks and I've pulled myself back up. And we met, Coach, in one of the setbacks I experienced. My boxing career ended after 18 years because of an eye injury I suffered in 2016. And I believe it was Christmas 2017. A mutual friend of ours, Diamond Dallas Page,
sure,
wrestling Hall of Famer, me and him became friendly. He invited me out to see him from London to Atlanta to spend time because I had an operation on my eye in Baltimore the week after. He invited me over. That weekend, he also had one of his famous Christmas parties, which you were there for, and I had no clue. So I've turned up, a young kid from London, with a suitcase and a dodgy eye, and I've walked in, and there's music going, and there's people there drinking, talking, having fun. I've gone, "What's happening, Dallas?" He said, "Oh, I'm having my Christmas party. Here's all my friends." And I was like, "Oh, I had no clue." And then we got chatting and chatted to other guys. And do you know what? I like, and we'll hear about my journey later. And long and short of it is, I'm coming to live in the US very soon. And that night, when I first met you and Dallas's other friends, I was astounded by. I said, you hear the Southern hospitality thing. You know, you hear it even over here in Britain. I could not believe like how nice everyone was to me. And like, I met yourself, I met Kent, one of Dallas's friends, and Ken, we just met, right? And this is the conversation. We just met. He said to me, so what are you doing over here? I said, I've got surgery on my eye in Baltimore. The first sentence I spoke to him, I've got surgery on my eye in Baltimore next week. He said, I'm from Baltimore. I went, cool. He said, where are you staying? I was like, I'll just get a hotel down by the marina. He went, nah. I don't even know his name at this point. I don't even know his name. He went, nah, you're staying with me. And I went, nah, that's okay. Because I don't know what it's like in the US. In Britain, everyone's polite, like genuinely. You don't want to put people out, or don't go out of your way for me. I said, no, I'm fine. I'll get a hotel, no problem. He said, no, listen, stay with me. We've got space. We've got loads of room. So for the second time, I said, no, honestly, it's cool. It's fine. I'll get a hotel. This guy's a stranger, right? He said to me, look, any friend of Dallas's is a friend of ours. You're staying with me. And I was like, okay. I didn't want to say no 3 times. I said, okay. And and my wife, this is a true story. So my wife at home, so I had the night, and then they flew up to Baltimore. I flew a couple of days later. But I'm in his spare room. And Kate, my wife, said to me, where are you staying? And I went, I don't know. I think his name is Ken. It could be Kent. I didn't even know his name. But the point I'm making is everyone was so nice to me and kind to me, and people are just so pleasant. And America, Texas, Atlanta is a world away from where I live. And here, I was astounded by how nice people were. To somebody, they didn't know me from Adam. They had no reason to be nice to me, but they were, and that means a lot to me.
Well, that's one of those things that when you build those relationships, and I think leadership is about relationships. When you lead people, it's about having relationships. And when you build relationships with people, you can trust the people they bring around. And I've known Kent, probably 20 plus years now. So I've met Kent probably about 20 years ago, been a friend of Dallas's for that long or more. And it's just like that. Like you say, come stay here. You need a place, got a room, no problem. That's just the way you should be. I think the world needs that a little bit more.
Yeah, you say that. And I think life's all about, particularly if you see yourself as a leader or you want to improve leadership qualities, life's all about learning, right? Learning, the best people, in my opinion, are some of the wisest people. Not always, but I think it's particularly, again, if you're a leader, if you want people to follow in your footsteps, you've got to be wise. So it's all about learning. And I learned from that experience. I learned about, because that's not really a thing of it. I wouldn't let strangers stay in my house. Well, I wouldn't have let people, and people don't, because it's a bit weird. It's a bit weird. So this Christmas just gone, again, you'll hear the story later, but I'm doing a bit of training at a wrestling school in East London. Made a friend with this guy called Darian, American guy, young lad, over here studying, knows nobody. I said to him, and he did a wrestling move on somebody, and he hurt him. And wrestling's all about protecting your person you're working with and keeping them safe. And we're both still quite new, but we're still both making mistakes. And he hurt somebody, and he was mortified, really upset. He rang me the next day, telling me about it, floods of tears. And this is about a week before Christmas. And I said to him, listen, mate, to change the subject, I said, what are you doing for Christmas? I said, nothing. I'm not doing anything. I said, what do you mean? He said, I'm just going to stay here. He's a student, so we had like a student accommodation by himself, and just stay here by myself. I mean, you can't do that. You can't stay by yourself. It's Christmas. That's not what Christmas is about. I said, mate, come and spend it with me and my family. So I picked him up. We drove a couple of hours away to where I grew up in my small little town. And he spent the Christmas day with me, my 4 sisters, my mum, my nephews and nieces. And that's what we're talking about. Like, being open to people and being nice. The world isn't... There's not enough nice people in the world,
Well, it's about, I think part of it is to pay it forward. As you begin to pay it forward with people, you get treated nice, you come over here, you get treated nice, you get invited out to, hey, just stay at the house, whatever it might be. And then at some point, we've got to pay that forward.
Yeah.
I think in today's world, we want to pay forward the crap, the bad stuff. We really don't get around the good anymore. We hear so much negative and bad. And I don't know how much you watch about our news over here. And it's a nightmare sometimes. And I just want to see everybody get along at some point. how can you be respectful? How can you be nice? And that's everything I want to stand for in my life. You know, I've raised 2 daughters. I've just acquired 3 more when I got married in 18. So I've got 5 daughters. I've got a grandson. I've got a granddaughter on the way in March. So I want them to look back and go, man, he was really a good guy.
Yeah.
There's a really cool country song out there by a group called Emerson Drive, old time song. You can Google it, but it's 2 words, good man. It's the name of the song. And I get choked up a little bit when I talk about it because I heard that song. I said, that's what I want people to say. When the end of my days come, I want them to say, he was a good man. And that's testament enough for me. And how do we do the right things for people? So let's keep moving now. I want to say, how did you get started in boxing? I mean, that's pretty tough. That's like Mean Streets kind of thing.
Yeah, so you know, a lot of the time, a lot of people, not everyone, as you'll hear, but a lot of people get into boxing because maybe their dad boxed, or their uncle, or their granddad. Like boxing's in their family, and it was kind of passed down to them. Not me. I grew up in a house, mum and 4 sisters. No male influence around. A very feminine household. I was the anomaly. And I was listen, there's a million things I can't do. You mentioned earlier, Strictly Come Dancing, Dance with the Stars. I left after week 3. Okay. I'm not very good, right? So loads of things I can't do. But luckily for me, I was always good at sport. And that's what I cared about. And I played all different sports. And when I was in year 7, so when I was 11, 12, when I was 12 years old, every day at lunchtime, we played football, soccer, every day. It was like when you're 12, football here is massive. Like when you're 12, lunchtime football is life. Like there's nothing more important than lunchtime football. So we're playing. I'm through to the final because I was quite handy. I was quite good when I was a kid. And my 2 best friends were battling it out to play me in the final. One, the little nerdy kid, took a shot, come off the cool kid's foot, the ball's gone into the top corner, and he has scored. So they're both my best friends. Adam, big, strong, good-looking kid. All the girls liked him. And Aaron, small, little, scrawny kid. He was a bit of a nerd. So Adam was in a bad mood. He'd lost. He's pushed Aaron over. Aaron went flying. Aaron was half his size. He got up and said, don't do that. That's not very nice. Adam did it again. Aaron's gone flying. Aaron's come over to him and said, don't you dare do that again. Adam has gone to push him again. Aaron has slipped it and bang, 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 bang. Thrown about 100 punches in like 5 seconds. I mean, we were 12 years old, so it was handbags. It was nothing. And then everyone's gone, whoa! And then Adam, the cool, big, good-looking guy who everyone thought was going to win, was on the floor crying his eyes out. So I said to Aaron, everyone's, Aaron. I said, Aaron, how'd you learn to do that? He said, I go boxing club. I went, can I come? Oh, I want to learn to do that. He went, yeah, there's a beginner session on tonight. I said, oh, great. He said, I'll go to the advanced class. I don't go to the beginner class. I went, okay. So I didn't want to go by myself. So I went to Adam, who was on the floor, literally wiping his tears away. I went, Adam, I said, he only won because he goes boxing. So what we should do tonight, go tonight, get really good, and tomorrow you can fight him again, and all the girls will like you again. He went, yeah.
It's always about the girls, isn't it?
Yeah, so I said to him, oh, there we go. And he was like, oh, I'm not sure. I went, go on, because literally the lunch bell went, so everyone's walking back into school for afternoon class. And I said to him, oh, mate, let's go boxing. Like, you'll fight him tomorrow, you'll win. He went, oh, I'm not sure. I'm a bit embarrassed. But mate, all the girls like you. The girl he liked had walked in with Aaron. He went, yeah, for sure. He went, okay. So I rushed home, got my bike to his, bike to the boxing gym. I walked in the boxing gym, and like before I even threw a punch, I thought, this is me. This is me, you know. And talking about leadership thing, so I played football to a high level. I played for Norwich City, which the youth team, which are a Premier League team over here. I played for my county. I was captain of my county. I swam at a national level. I was very talented at sports. But boxing, when I started boxing, like boxing gave me something that the other sports didn't give me, because win, lose or draw in boxing is down to you.
Yep.
Like in football, you can be the best player on the pitch. If your goalkeeper has a nightmare of the game and lets in 3 goals, then you lose. Not because of you, but because the keeper was rubbish.
Sure.
Boxing, you win. It's down to you to get better. If you win, even sometimes I went through this, I won all my first 6 fights. And I started getting, I'm 13 years old. I'm starting to get a bit too, I don't know how to say it. In England, we would say, yeah, cocky, yeah. I was trying to use, get cocky. And I'm thinking, yeah, I'm the man. And that's a lesson. Being 13 years old, having 6 fights, knocking out 3 of them, which 13-year-olds don't do, knock out. You never see any 13-year-old guy knock people out. I'm knocking out my people. I'll get really cocky. So even having to learn to not be cocky and to stay humble as a young man, as a kid, it's hard. So yeah, I was always destined to be an individual sport athlete because it appeals to me more. You know, when I win, I want success.
Okay.
When I lose, I want the responsibility to improve.
So how'd you get to the Olympics?
So it's just hard work, man. Hard work. For years, decades, like years. So I was started at 12, Olympics 23. I won 10 national titles. I won the Junior Olympics. So first time, Rick, the first time I ever left England, I went to the Junior Olympics in Brownsville, Texas.
Woohoo! Yeah, Texas.
It was the first time I'd ever. And listen, me, young kid from a small town in England, I'd barely seen an airplane before, let alone been on one. Walk onto the airplane, 10 hours, 12 hours, land in Texas. I'm like, what the? It was like everything was different. I'm like, this is weird. Like even like TV programs, we watch like British TV programs. So there's a whole world. Like 15-year-olds now are more developed and they see more of the world than I did. Like 20 years ago. Went to Junior Olympics. I won the Junior Olympics. I got the most outstanding boxer at the tournament. I came back the next year. I won the Junior World Championships, gold medal. And then, actually, talking about adversity, I won everything. I was mustard, as we say in England. I was good. And then I struggled for a couple of years because I was always a really talented boxer as a kid. I always outskilled my people, my opponents. And then I got to like 17, 18. And I was always quite physically immature. I wasn't developed. Like I won, true story, little side note, I won the Junior World Championships. I was 16. I'd just become world champion. I had 4 fights. The first 3 fights, the referee lifted my arm up when I won, put my arm down straight away. Because I didn't have any armpit hair. I was only 16 when I had no armpit hair. And I'm fighting these Turks, these guys from Ukraine, big hairy armpits. I had no armpit hair. Then the final, I won the final, and I've made a conscious decision. And I went, world champion. I didn't care. I didn't care if anybody saw or not. But I was late to develop. And then when I got to about 17, 18, when you become a senior boxer, I struggled physically because I was boxing men, 25, 30 years old, from Eastern European countries, Georgia, Macedonia, like Ukraine, tough, strong men. And they were beating me, not because they were better than me, but because they were just stronger. So it took me, hold my hands up, I took responsibility. I had to physically get stronger, develop quicker. And I worked my backside off, and it took me a little bit longer than I would have liked because I had to develop. And there's some things you can control, there's some things you can't control. And then I boxed, qualified in 2012, went to the Olympic Games, and won a medal.
Well, good. So, leadership is critical to success. And humility, I think, is a big piece of leadership. Have you ever been really humbled? I mean, where you get, what kind of advice can you give the folks that are listening to when they get punched in the gut, to use a boxing metaphor, when you just, I love Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson, his saying was, everyone has a plan until you get punched in the nose. Mm-hmm. And a plan goes to shit pretty quick.
Yeah.
So what do you do when you get punched in the nose or you get that gut punch? You just go, oh, gosh, I mean, I've been in like 3 fights my whole life. I'm a big guy. People think I fight all the time. No, it was like 8th grade,
Yeah.
13, 14. I got picked on out in the schoolyard, and I just went, boom, and he knocked him down. And now all of a sudden they went, oh, I'm leaving him alone. I was always a big kid. I was always a big guy, but I didn't want to fight. I was kind of a crybaby at that time, which is why they picked on me. But they stopped after 8th grade. So what kind of advice can you share with people when you get that punched in the gut, injury, sickness, setback, when something you can't control just knocks you out of the game a little bit?
Yeah, so, it brings me on nicely to what I was going to say next. So,
by the way, here's a good one. By the way, when I hit Michael Gambardella in the nose, I broke the boxer's break, right?
Make a couple.
Yeah, I'm 13 years old, and first punch I throw, I break a bone. And like that didn't work out too well.
Heavy-handed.
I was a football player, like American football. So I didn't punch people. So, what kind of advice can you give people when they get an injury or something that knocks them down?
Yeah, a little story first. So, as I said at the beginning, I said that quote, that's Mandela. Don't judge me on my successes. Judge me all the times I fell down and got back up. And I say that, that's the prelude to one of my talks, my motivational talks. And one of my talks is Olympic-driven, Olympic-centered. And I go on to talk about my 2.5-year spell, which took me from unknown, like outside of the boxing world, to one of the most famous sportsmen in Britain, doing these TV shows like Come Dancing and whatever. So, and in the midst of that, I had a massive amount of adversity, most of it ever faced. So my qualification to Olympics was horrendous. In the previous 2 years, 2 dislocated shoulders, had to rehab from, come back. I was down in one fight by 6 points, had 1 round left to go. A bit of context, the previous 4-year Olympic cycle from Beijing 08 to London 2012, not one person in elite international boxing had ever overturned a 3-point deficit going to the last round. And I found myself 6 points down.
Wow.
I somehow come back from his deficit, I punched his little guy's head in, and I qualified, right? I was finally there after a dogged 2-year period of injuries and whatever. And my sister called me up. It was 8:20 on a Tuesday morning. My sister Joanne called me up. She was crying her eyes down the phone. She went, Anthony, get home. Mum is about to die. You don't know this story.
No.
And I went, fuck. And my mum had suffered a brain aneurysm. Right? And then for 4 weeks, I didn't do a thing. Didn't throw a punch, didn't do a sit-up, did nothing. Eventually, my sisters and my wife said to me, look, you've got to do Olympic Games, because when my mum was in a coma, she has operations on her brain every other day to save her life. And then they said, when mum gets better, now nobody really thought she was going to get better, but they said, when mum gets better, she's going to feel awful knowing you didn't do Olympic Games because of her. I was like, now, as I said, nobody thought she was going to get better, but I get what they were saying. Like, I had to do it because my mom knew what it meant to me. The Olympics, they were my one dream I'd ever had. So I pulled myself away. I had 1 sparring session before the Olympics. 10 days before my first fight, I sparred a lad called Fred Evans. We got a silver in London, a real good boxer. I threw a jab, he slips out, goes right hook to the body, and he breaks my rib. I sit there on the edge of the ring apron after the sparring. I'm sweating. I sweat a lot. But I was crying as well, and the sweat was masquerading my tears. My shoulder was sore from the dislocation. My Achilles were, I didn't know at the time, I knew the pain, but I had 4 surgeries on my Achilles to fix them later on. I had a partial tear in that.
Oh, wow.
I had a broken rib, and worst of all, I thought, my mum's going to die, I'm never going to see her again. Yeah, I had to do the Olympic Games because I owed it to myself. And all the years and years and years of when all my friends were going out, partying, drinking, all my mates were kind of started getting with girls and stuff, I was in bed at 9 p.m. every night, waking up in the morning, training. I sacrificed so much. I owed it to myself to go to another game and try to win a medal, win the gold medal. So that's an example of me, like, I had no control over my mum getting ill. Yet I had control of what I did. And that was June the 28th, I remember. So I was adamant that was the last time I ever thought I was ever going to see her and hold her hand. And I left the hospital in Addenbrooke's, Cambridge, to go to London to meet up with the team. And I genuinely thought she was going to die. I'm never going to see her again. And that was the hardest thing I've ever done, was leave my family and her in that situation to go and fight. But as I said a minute ago, I couldn't control that, but I could only do what I could control. So I'm not really saying specific. What I've always done when bad things happen is think, what can I control? Like when shit has happened in the past, and it's been hard. I've had a lot of in my career and personally, professionally. But like, why is this happening? Like, what can I get from it? Like, I'm going through. Am I going to go through adversity? Or am I going to grow through it? Am I become a bigger, better, stronger person because of it? And I always think, and it's hard because I'm in there. When you're in there, it's hard. But I always think, like, what can I take from this experience? What can I take through the next thing to help me? And a lot of it's baggage. And there was, for a long time, after the Olympic Games, I struggled. Like, I got a bronze. I should have won the gold. So my bronze medal, people go, oh, that's amazing, that's amazing. I go, in my head, that's rubbish. I should have won the gold. And had my mum up in ill, broken rib, sore shoulder, I know I would have won the gold, but that's this and
Well, you know what? That leads me to something. And I'm going to tell you, I didn't sleep very well last night. I was kind of nervous about having our talk on the podcast. I was excited more than anything else. And I went, this guy is the third best boxer. I know you got a bronze. And I know we drive ourselves to get a gold, right? That's just where our heads are at. Be number one. If you're not number one, there's a NASCAR movie. It's Ricky Bobby. You may have seen it.
Yeah.
Fair, right? He goes, he's first loser. I'm like, bullshit. Man, you're the third best boxer out of 7.5 billion people in the world. In your classification, you're in the world, man. There's 7 billion people in this world. It's an amazing journey that you went on. But we want to look at, holy smokes, I didn't get there because of the shoulder, because of the ribs. And we do that to ourselves. And we do it to ourselves at work. You don't get that promotion. Well, am I going to get that next time? What can I, and I love what it's how you grow. I love what you said. It's how you grow in your adversity, not owning that and stuff. So, all right, pro wrestling. What's next?
So I had to retire from boxing, and I thought, what? And for 18 years, I gave it my all. And I thought, what do I actually enjoy doing? Like, I was so consumed by boxing, I didn't have any other interests. And then the answer was staring me in the face. When I met Dallas, right? And Dallas said to me, because obviously I was a wrestling fan, I looked up to him. He says to me, mate, he went, ever thought about doing the wrestling? This is whilst I was trying to get back. I had 3 years, I injured my eye. I spent 3 years trying to get back. As well, like year one. He went, ever thought about being a wrestler? I think you could do it. He said, you've got the look, you can talk well, you got the Olympic thing. I went, listen, I said, I've always loved it, but he knows what it's like, and you know what it's like. When you're so driven on one thing, the most amazing thing could be there, which it was for 3 years for me, and I so wanted that, I ignored that. And then he mentioned it again about a year later. And after I'd had about 4 or 5 surgeries at the time, I was quite low. He said, mate, I had surgery. I had surgery on my eye and my heart stopped. During surgery, I woke up and the doctor told me I had a cardiac arrest and my heart stopped for like a minute. That had been bring back to life, which was like the last thing you think you're going to hear. Right?
Last thing you want to hear is, yeah, you were in surgery, your heart stopped, dude.
Yeah. I was like, what? So he celebration my eye was covered and I was here, and he came over and he told me, and I started laughing, thinking this must be some kind of sick joke. From nowhere, the anesthesiologist popped his head up from there. I couldn't see him. almost gave me a heart attack. I thought, mate, I went like, if I didn't have one, I was going to give me one there. Anyway, and Dallas, I told Dallas, and Dallas said, mate, he said, you're putting your body through all this shit for boxing. Now you're heart stopping. Just give it up and become a wrestler. I'll help you. And I went, nah, but when you're so in, you can't see anything but. I said, D, I said, I've got to get to the end of my journey. And I hoped my journey would be boxing for world titles, millions of pounds, dollars, whatever. Mm-hmm. And that wasn't. The end of my journey was I had to retire. And I thought, what
Anthony,
do I want to do most of all?
What a great lesson, because we become myopic in our own worlds. Not necessarily, there's all of us can be world-class athletes, but we become myopic in this is the only thing that I can do. I call it putting the blinders up, like with the horse race. Yeah. With the blind, I can't see anything but what's right in front of me. Sometimes we have to open those blinders up and look around and say opportunity, whether it's in leadership, whether it's in sales. You get salespeople that are so myopic on this one big deal that they may be working on that all of a sudden they're missing deals here, deal there, deal there, leadership opportunities. I'm so myopic on making this right here, I forget about this leadership opportunity here, this growth opportunity over here. What maybe go down? That's a great analogy because you were really myopic on it.
And that's the thing. We call them over here. We call them blinkers. We call them blinkers, right? Yep. I'd walk into a boxing gym and do this. I'd literally do it, like as if to say, right, focus. Anything else? I've done that for years. And I mentioned earlier, I think, about something like going through things like life's about learning from mistakes. I wouldn't say me being like that in my boxing career was a mistake because, as I said a minute ago, I had to get to the end before I could look around. But life, and I think he says anybody who's successful learns from previous circumstances, whether they're mistakes or not. So what I've learned and what I'm taking into the wrestling chapter is don't be so like this. Be like this. Like sometimes, even in like you can be like this for a period, but at some point, I'm talking a million miles an hour now, so please tell me to slow down if I'm talking too fast, but I'm getting excited. A guy that I look up to over here once said to me, when you're so driven to get up the top of the mountain, you're so driven, and that's really commendable. You're so driven, he said, sometimes the view can be just as nice halfway up or 2/3. Stop. Have a look around. Take it in. Enjoy the journey. Don't just rush to get to the top. He told me a story. I don't know if the story was bullshit or not, but he told me a story about some guy climbed, it wasn't Everest, maybe that's Kilimanjaro in Africa. And then the scenery was beautiful on the way up. He got to the top. He was in the middle of the clouds. And the view was rubbish because all he could see was clouds. Wow, and he was like, I've just slogged my ass up this bloody massive mountain for 3 weeks. For this view, it was rubbish. Whereas if he'd have enjoyed it, taken a stop, had a look around, got another day, had a look around, he'd have enjoyed it much more. Sure, it might have took him longer, but he would have enjoyed the process more. And that's what I'm doing. In this next chapter of my life, I'm going to learn from all the things I did wrong, all the things I would want to change from my boxing career. And one of those is, don't be so bloody minded on one thing. Be open to stuff. Be open to opinions and from other people and stuff. Particularly people like yourself or DDP that I actually look up to and respect. You guys have got a wealth of knowledge to share. And if I didn't want to listen, I'd be an idiot.
Well, there's some great advice right there that our viewers and listeners can take to the house. So we're getting a little tight on time. So here's what I want to do. I'd be remiss if I did not get with the bald truth questions. So I've got a couple for you.
Of course.
All right. If you're holding a dinner party for 6, yourself included, you get to invite 5 people to a dinner party. Who would you invite and why?
Great question. Somebody asked me this recently, and in my head I'd go, King Henry VIII, because but in reality, if he was here, I'd go, Carl, you're King Henry VIII. He'd go, yeah. And then after the initial intrigue of it, would go, he's just a bloke who killed 3 women. and send thousands of people to their deaths. So I think going back in history, I know this is going too far back in history. You get somebody at the dinner table, and what's a dinner party? 3, 4, 5 hours long. Mm-hmm. After the first 5 minutes, you go, "You're weird," or like, "I don't like you," kind of thing. So I'm going to choose people quite common, and I know people waste, but I'm thinking literally. So every party needs some attractive women. Beyonce, beautiful, amazing, talented, and I'm sure she's got an amazing story of her own adversity. Okay. Julie Andrews, so Mary Poppins from back in the day.
Absolutely.
I think back in the day, Julie Andrews.
Back in the day,
Again, I'm sure she's got some stories to tell. So there's 2 women, and the men, I'd go, obviously myself on my party, Muhammad Ali, my sporting hero, again, like, not even so much. I'd like to talk to him about his successes and mentally, like, because I mentioned a minute ago, when I was 13, I won 6 fights on the spin, knocked out 3. I got really big for myself, or very overconfident. How did he manage it? Like, how did, stuff like that? Winston Churchill, so that you can see, but I've got a mural on my wall.
Oh,
Winston Churchill at the bottom. Winston Churchill, in my opinion, is the greatest Briton ever to live. And one other, I thought this the other day. One other person, I think I wrote it down actually, just bear with me 1 second. The third person was it him? The third person was Eminem.
Eminem. Oh, nice.
Because he's my favourite artist. That was between him and John Lennon. But I think John Lennon would have been a bit too hippie-fied for me. Whereas Eminem, yeah. I mean, I'd like to hear. I bet he's got some stories.
I'll bet he does. Interesting. Very cool.
So,
all right. So, second question, the bald truth question here. An article is being written about you after you've passed. All I want, what's the headline? What's the title? Article in the paper, written about you. What's the title?
Mate, great question. Do you know, I'm sorry to steal something you've said, but you mentioned it a minute ago, and when you mentioned that, I got a tingle. Like, when it's your time, like, you want people to say he was a good man, and you can have all the fame, money, success in the world, but what really matters in life is when you're lying on your deathbed, all you really care about in that moment is your family around you, your friends around you, and people wanting to be with you in your final moments. That's what matters. So I'm sorry to nick you on, but I have to say something like something like good man or something like that, because that's what really matters, isn't it? That's what matters.
Excellent. Very cool. Yeah. And that's one of the things. I mean, for me, I just want to say, he was a good man. He lived his purpose.
Yeah.
For me, that's really my whole thing. So, final question here. Each morning you wake up, what do you do to set yourself up for a successful day?
Mate, I'm a creature of habit. I'm the same every day. I wake up early, about 6 a.m. I roll into the shower. In the summer, I'll have a cold shower. In the winter now, I'll have a hot shower, but for 10 seconds, I'll put it cold, but then hot again, just to wake me up, to stimulate me.
Okay.
I get dressed. I always set my clothes out on the banister the night before. I dried, and I get changed within like 2 or 3 minutes. From the shower to downstairs eating breakfast is 5 minutes. In, out, done. I have a breakfast, and how I start every single day, I have my breakfast, have some porridge, same breakfast, oatmeal every day. And then I have my iPad, which I'm talking to you on now. And again, the night before, I've already put on which video I'm going to watch. It's going to be a motivational, inspirational, like a TED talk. I know I want to learn. So for half an hour before I leave the house and go to the gym, I've filled my brain with something positive. And this morning I watched a video about a lady who suffered a stroke, and she was actually she's a brain doctor, and she was like, she'd had a brain deformity, her stroke, and she practiced brain before and after. brain medicine, and it was just a comparison kind of thing. And again, because my mum had a brain aneurysm and she managed to survive, and then she survived it, she's living a really good life now. And I was interested by that. So it could be something well left field, which won't even like come into my everyday. I like to learn, and then I go to a gym, have a great day, and then I build from there. So I wake up in the morning, quick shower, I watch something to stimulate me, learn something. And that same video, I could watch that same video 10 times until I really get it. And a true good video is each time like a movie. Each time you watch it, you see something else, you hear something else.
Sure.
And then, and I'll try to become a bit better today than I was yesterday, and life's all about getting a bit better. And you're never going to get to the end because eventually you'll die. But as long as you're better than you were yesterday or last year, you're doing well.
Perfect. Good. So, hey, what's the best way anyone wants to follow your journey into your next step? What's the best way for people to keep track of you? Website, anything?
Yeah, so Twitter and Instagram. Twitter is @Anthony Ogogo.
Yeah, you're big on Instagram, bro. I like watching your Instagram.
Yeah, do you know, because when Instagram got good, that's when I was injured. So I'm not as big on it as I should be. I haven't got as many followers as I should have, because when it got big, I was sulking, trying to fight for my career. But I'm trying to now. I'm about 2 or 3 years behind. But yeah, @Anthony Ogogo on Twitter, @Anthony Ogogo 1111 on Instagram, and yeah, follow my journey.
Absolutely, love to do it. Hey, thanks for being my guest, man. I appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to watching your journey coming into the U.S. and do a little wrestling with our boys up there, and it'll be fun to watch. So I appreciate you, man. This has been The Bald Truth. That's it. That's it for The Bald Truth today, folks. Download and subscribe on iTunes. We're on iTunes, we're on Spotify, we're on iHeartRadio, or right to our website, The Bald Truth Podcast. So we'd love to have you as subscribers, folks. I'm Coach Rick, and that's The Bald Truth.